let's dive into the Eastern Conference. Like I said at the top of the episode, we do have all 8 seeds finalized for the playoffs. So just to kind of give a quick rundown of the matchups. So in the 1-8 matchup, we got the Philadelphia 76ers going up against the Washington Wizards. We have the Brooklyn Nets going up against the Celtics. That's the 2 versus the 7 series. For the 3 and the 6, we get the Bucks at the 3 seed. They will be playing the Miami Heat. And then the 4 or 5 matchup, which I imagine Kev's probably keeping his eyes glued to that one, will be the New York Knicks versus the Atlanta Hawks. So, Kev, let me just get your first impression of what you think this Eastern Conference setup is currently.
I think that each individual team, the way that they ended the season, including the play-in, I think they're all poised to be great series. Obviously, I think that Philly absolutely annihilates Washington. I just think Philly's better suited. I think that ends up, being a quick one. The Brooklyn-Boston series, it really depends because we all know Brooklyn has a historically great offense, but they have just as bad of a defense. And, that potentially could end up going maybe like 6. I don't know. The 3, my eyes are glued particularly to the 3 and the 6. Miami just particularly has Milwaukee's number. I genuinely think, yes, Miami has not played very well as of late in terms of ending the season, but we all saw what happened last year. Playoff Jimmy is a different mode. The man is locked in. The Heat posted a picture, or Jimmy Butler posted a picture today of him like dribbling or like him holding the ball. And he was just absolutely just shredded. He was like playoff mode activated, whatever. I think that the Heat are going to beat and upset the Bucks. That's my prediction. I think that the 4 and the 5 matchup is a very good matchup. I know that the Knicks beat them in the total regular season series, but Atlanta hasn't been in the postseason in some time. Obviously, the explosiveness of Trae Young is you can have him drop 40 or 50 any given night with his ability to stretch the floor. And then obviously you have the Knicks resurgence of just dominating the league this year. Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, and a lot of other players just really stepping up. Derrick Rose actually was announced to be a finalist for the 6th Man of the Year award. So I think, like I said, the Eastern Conference playoffs, they are intriguing. I think that Boston has the potential to maybe get a game from Brooklyn. I know that we literally shitted on them maybe Tuesday night or one Monday night, and we just genuinely thought that they were not going to be able to do anything possible. Mm-hmm. Granted, Washington is not Brooklyn, so I don't think it's going to be as simple for Jason to go and drop 50, but if the potential is there, maybe Kemba and Jason had a little warm up to maybe they could do something. But we'll see what happens. And then obviously, like I said, Washington and Philly, I think Philly's just a very dominant team. We have a finalist in the MVP race, Joel Embiid there, Seth Curry, Ben Simmons. So it's just, I think if Russell and Bradley can maybe muster up, 50, 60 together, maybe they can get a game. But I think Philly gets a sweep or a gentleman's sweep. They're just a very good team. But overall, the Eastern Conference playoffs, thankfully, they are set, and I am very happy. Since we're on that topic, I just want to give a huge shout out to Jason Tatum for dropping 50 against the Wizards the other night. Mm-hmm. Ironically enough, Kyle and I were talking about it prior to the episode. We, along with Shannon Sharp and some other analysts, said it's going to take Jason to drop 50 points for them to go out and beat the combination of Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. And overall, Russell Westbrook did not have a terrific shooting night. Neither did Bradley. And Jason just took advantage at the free throw line. He had 17 free throws. Kemba Walker dropped 29 points, obviously a Bronx native out here doing his thing. You feel me? We out here. But, it's just, like I said, I just wanted to give a quick kudos because it ain't easy to drop 50 in a regular game. But in a win or go home or a win and, you're locked into a position of you're definitely going to make the postseason. Jason just went out there and stepped up. He's been doing it all season long. He's just probably one of the best up-and-coming players under 25, and it's just I cannot wait to see this man continue to grow and prosper. Again, I'm not the biggest Boston fan, but Jason just is on another level, and his confidence after he worked out with Kobe a couple of off seasons ago, it's just been different ever since then, and I think he really is kicking into gear, realizing he can dominate a lot of his matchups, and you can see that Mamba mentality kind of kicking into him now, and it's kicking in at a really young age, and that's good for Boston. So, I'm really hoping that Boston is able to give Brooklyn a run for their money, so Brooklyn can get off that high horse and stop thinking that they're the greatest team in the world. But yeah, that's pretty much Ryan rant on the Eastern Conference. I just really wanted to go out there and say what I needed to for Jason.
I mean, when I look at the setup in the Eastern Conference right now, I think these are going to be pretty straightforward series. I'll take the 1 versus 8 series just at the top real quick. I think the 76ers, like you said, they're pretty much going to either get this in a sweep or get this by 5 games. I don't know who's going to be able to stop Joel. Joel's going to be an absolute nightmare down low. And I just don't think Washington's going to be really prepared for just his overall intensity. And also, Ben Simmons is going to be a focal piece for that defense for Philly. And I don't know who's going to be necessarily matched up one-on-one with, but whoever he's matched up against, I think is going to have a tough time to be able to score because Ben is one of the best defenders in the league currently.
Doesn't Ben run the 1 for Philly? So wouldn't he be matched up on Russell more than likely?
That's what I would think off the top of my head. They may put him on Bradley, maybe just because that Bradley could be the hotter shooter. But
yeah, and then probably put Seth on probably Russell or something like that. But
because Ben is 6'8", and
Ben's a big boy.
Ben could at least try to slow down Bradley. I know Bradley's still kind of hindered by that. Didn't he have a hamstring injury?
Yeah, hammy, bro. It's no joke.
Because it looked like in that game against the Celtics the other day, he definitely looked like he was trying to get his legs underneath him. It's just he missed a couple games. Just he wasn't really in rhythm. But I think that possible matchup between Ben and Bradley Beal is going to be an interesting one to see. But like you said, I think that series is going to be wrapped up fairly quickly. The Nets and the Celtics, I think, is going to be a fun matchup simply just because the Nets offense is spectacular. Like you said, it's just their defense is atrocious. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Celtics get a game here because if Jason just decides to go off and just say, you know what, I'm just going to light it up like I did against the Wizards the other day. I wouldn't put it past Jason to drop another, 40, 50 points against this team because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know who the Nets are going to really put him defensively or put up defensively against him.
You got to put KD on him. You don't have to.
I mean, if that's the case, that's going to be a tough matchup for Jason just because that KD is 6'11", and granted, he's not really what I would consider like the best like post-up defender, but
the length is going to make it hard.
It's still tough to shoot over KD. Like I kind of have to give KD respect on that, but I just don't have a lot of confidence in Boston's ability to really run with Brooklyn. I say that series gets wrapped up in 5. When I look at the Bucks and Heat series, I'm going to slightly disagree with you here. I really think that the Bucks are going to win this series. I think it's going to be a close series. I think the Bucks are going to wrap this up. I want to say 7, but I'm going to be a little bit bold here. I think they wrap it up in 6. I'm going to be a little bold here. I want to see how the Bucks can adjust if Miami's really tough on Giannis, because it's been noted the last couple seasons, especially in the playoffs, that if the opposing team is able to lock down Giannis, they really haven't been able to get decent scoring outside of him. Chris Middleton's been inconsistent. I know he had that one game when Giannis got hurt last year, and then Chris really stepped up. I think he ended up dropping like 35, 40 points. I think it was in game 5.
I don't even remember. It kept them from the sweep, so it had to have been 4.
I think it was game 4. So, granted, they do have Drew Holiday now, so I do like his ability to score and to play solid defense. So, I don't know if he's going to be matched up against Jimmy. I would probably think that he's probably their best backcourt defender. So they might match up on Jimmy.
Definitely, yeah, maybe. He's a little small.
He's
though,
isn't
Jimmy like 6'5"?
Yeah, they may give. I'm just saying, if Drew ends up getting that defensive assignment, they're probably going to have help on the backside just to make sure.
I would assume so.
that he's not just getting destroyed by Jimmy. But that is going to probably be a very fun series to watch. I may be out on a limb on this one with saying that the Bucks are going to wrap this up in 6, but I think that series has the potential to go 7. Now, with the Knicks and the Hawks, I'm just going to ride the wave on this one, and I'm just saying the Knicks are going to get this one. I think they're going to wrap it up in 6. The reason why is the Knicks defense. The Knicks have a fantastic defense. And
Typical.
when you look at this team, Julius Randle's been having a sensational year. Derrick Rose is having the closest thing that I could really say to like a vintage Rose season, just because he's not like going out and, doing what he used to do in his early Chicago days, but he's playing consistent basketball and he's giving this team the veteran leadership that it needs. And going into the playoffs, that's huge. So I think that they wrap this one up in 6. I do think the Hawks are definitely going to get a game or two here. I'm not going to be as bold as you saying that they're going to wrap this up in 5, but if I had to put money on it just as a safe bet, I think they wrap this up in 6.
I think the Knicks are hungry, bro.
The Knicks are
like scary hungry.
The
their
Knicks are
post-game
young.
interviews.
Bro, I know that they want I know they want the smoke with the Nets.
Bro, I'm telling you,
I know
man,
they want the smoke with the Nets.
If that matchup comes to fruition, holy shit, is the city going to erupt?
We've said that already. We've said that multiple times.
But the next round, though, like to go to the conference finals, where the Knicks haven't been in the playoffs in 8 years, if they match up at all at any significance, like importance, it's going to be even better. First of all, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks sold out their postseason already. They're done. Their tickets are sold out. It's over. You have James Harden here saying he'll pay for half their tickets. Brooklyn is so desperate to sell tickets. They need players to go out there, basically beg people to are you kidding me? But the Knicks sold out in like an hour. The Nets are literally offering players, be like, yo, I'll pay for half your ticket. Use code Harden. Like, to me, if that does not signify that the Nets have no real fans, I don't know what does. Because, everybody in the city want to go to the Garden, bro. It's going to be lit. It's going to be so, like, I wish I was home, bro. I really do.
Well, I'll tell you this. If the Heat end up beating the Bucks and the
Miami's going to erupt.
Well, no. Let me finish. If the Heat beat the Bucks and the Sixers win, meaning if they beat the Wizards, the 76ers would go up against the Heat in round 2. And if the Nets win their series and the Knicks win theirs, there you go. The Nets would play the Knicks in round 2. So it could happen. It could really happen. So I would say keep your fingers crossed. I'm saying for you specifically, for the Heat to win that series against the Bucks, and I do think that they are well equipped to at least compete with the Bucks, even though that I said the Bucks are going to win in 6. But I know that I would be very intrigued to watch a Knicks versus Nets second round matchup. I'd definitely say that.
So hype.